You better run, you better run. There's a man who fears no one, no one. Run, you better run, you better run. And if he finds you, you'll be done, done.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Killing Time with Kayla. Now as you can tell, we are in a slightly different setting this week. And that's because this week, Gobble Gobble, it is Thanksgiving. And so I thought we'd do a little Thanksgiving Gourmet Gore. What that means is we're gonna make some classic Thanksgiving menu items, but we're gonna mess them up a little bit. So if your family isn't the type, like mine isn't, who allows you to do like the big Thanksgiving dishes, like the turkey, this will be more in your lane. So I'm going to make an appetizer, a side dish, and a dessert. However, if you are in charge of the turkey and you do wanna gore things up and creep people out a little bit, I did have this crazy idea to where you can like get the dark meat out of the turkey and like pulverize it and mix it with cranberry sauce and then have it like oozing out of the little turkeys. Hoo-ha. Just food for thought. But anyway, as we were making these dishes, I'm also going to run down like a few Thanksgiving horror movies. And I don't know if you knew this, but there are way more of those than I thought that there were. So we're going to talk about those and then kind of relate them to the dishes we're making. And we're going to kick things off with this one, The Last Thanksgiving. I had never heard of it before. It's about an hour long, so it's not too bad. The budget's about $10,000 and it shows from the very beginning. But ultimately, the movie is about a family of cannibalistic pilgrims who get pissed off at anybody who doesn't celebrate their favorite holiday. So they hunt them down and they kill them and they eat them. So I'll talk about a new family tradition. Instead of breaking bread with each other, you break bones. So we're gonna make a severed charcuterie hand. Who at Thanksgiving would not want to do that? So let's get started. Here's what you're gonna need. 5 string cheeses, plenty of prosciutto, soft cheese of your choice. I chose brie. A piece of tin foil, and grab yourself a Sharpie to trace out your hand. All right, now that your hand is traced on the tin foil, it's time to build the severed hand. So as you probably guessed it, the string cheeses are meant to be your little phalanges. Phalanges, your fingers. So you're just gonna stick them on each one. So, and just cut off to where it ends. So there's my thumb, my index finger, my middle finger, and then your ring finger. And your pinky finger. All right, you got all your fingers in place. And this is where the soft cheese comes into play. This is gonna get a little messy, so if you have some gloves, you can put them on here. I do have some gloves, but I'm opting out of using them because gore, am I right? So you're gonna take your cheese and you're just gonna build all in the hand area. This is also good for a little charcuterie because it adds different types of cheeses to it. So you're not just getting bites of string cheese. And then you can even do some brie on the upper hand and you can do some goat cheese on the wrist. Honestly, you could do whatever you want. All right, now that my hand is built, this is where the fun part is. The prosciutto is acting as like the muscle fibers and the because it looks like that. And then you just start placing it around the hand. This is so gross. And there you have it, finger food. And now that the appetizer is done, it is time to make a gory side dish. Some monster mashed potatoes. Now, I know we all are used to having mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving dinner, but we all make them very differently. I'm pretty standard with mine. I just add a little butter, some cream, some salt and pepper, and some garlic. So however you make your base mashed potato, that's what you're gonna do for this recipe. But the fun part comes into play. Before I started filming, I blended up this little concoction. Yes, it is monster green. It's my color, I think. So essentially you can just kind of blend up whatever herbs are green, which is almost all of them. But for this one in particular, I put a little milk in there because you want to make it so it can move. Some cream cheese, and then I did tarragon, some fresh parsley, and some fresh chives. And it's important that all of these herbs are fresh. No stuff in the jar. You just blend that up until it gets about this color and this consistency, and pretty simple. You just pour it into your already white potatoes and it's gonna end up taking on this green color. Well, these are nice and green. They are mashed. They are monster mashed. And there's still one more fun part to this, and I'm gonna get to it in a minute. But make sure if you haven't already, boil yourself a hard-boiled egg. Also, check on these every so often because some people who don't know how to boil these might find themselves with an exploded boiled egg in their kitchen. I wouldn't know. I'm pretty good at doing that.
It caught on in a flash.
But before we get to the final touches of the Monster Mash, we do need to talk about the second Thanksgiving horror movie, and that is called Pilgrim. It is a Hulu exclusive. It's part of their Into the Dark series. And it's basically about some really messed up pilgrims who come in to a family who's just trying to have some new traditions. But the new tradition that they found themselves having was death. I've seen it about 3 or 4 times. Leave the kids in their bedrooms playing with their toys because it's definitely not family friendly. But a great movie to add to your Thanksgiving gore list. All right, ready for the final touch? We have our Monster Mash. And you can probably make this look a lot better than the way that I'm doing it. You get yourself a nice, clean glass bowl. Okay, and I told you earlier about the eggs, which are going to act as little eyeballs. And so here's the fun part. You know how to make deviled eggs. Make sure you scoop out the yellow part, add in a little mayo, and if you reserved a little bit of this green mixture, mix it in there too to make the eyeballs green. So we're gonna stuff that part back in the eyeballs, like so. Put them in there. And then, if any of you make these and take them to your family Thanksgiving, please videotape it and send it to me because I would love to see their reactions when you're walking in with these mashed potatoes. And then for the last part, get you some black olives. And look, it's a monster. And if you want to add some bell peppers for maybe a red smile, you can kind of do whatever you want with this. The gist of it is, though, make your mashed potatoes green. And then if you want to take it a step further, whoa, did you see how easy? This jar has not even been opened yet. Did you just see? God, I'm really strong. I could eat green olives all day already, by the way. So you have the green olives with the pimentos. For those who don't know what pimentos are, it's this red part inside of the olives. I'm gonna add those to the eyeballs for a little bit added effect. Look at our Monster Mash. Isn't she cute?
Having fun. The party had just begun.
All right, everybody, for our final dish, it's my favorite part. It is the dessert. We still have one more Thanksgiving horror movie to watch. Of course, there are many more. We know Black Friday featuring Devon Sawa, Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. The list goes on, but I wanted to talk about some hidden gems that maybe you haven't seen. We still have one more to go, but let's talk dessert first, okay? Because I got the oven going and we want to pop these babies in. One thing you definitely want to go do is you could probably go to Target or Amazon, which is where I got this skull pan. So I just greased it, but they're skulls. So these are going to shape our apple pies because apple pie is very Thanksgiving, right? And who doesn't want it in the shape of a skull? So it's pretty simple, I think. I actually haven't done it yet. I saw this on the TikTok, but you will need some ready-made pie crust. You can find this in the refrigerator section of pretty much any grocery store. So I'm gonna stretch this bad boy out on a lightly floured cutting board so that it doesn't stick. I also earlier went ahead and pre-made the apple mixture. I'll put the ingredients and measurements on the screen here, but a pretty simple little apple pie mixture with brown sugar and vanilla and some cinnamon. It did call for apple pie spice, but I didn't have that. Figured cinnamon would be just fine. So what we are going to do, need a knife, is we're gonna cut out circles, and I'm only gonna make 1 or 2 of these because I don't need 6 of these sitting around my house for me to eat. So you want to cut out circles that are slightly bigger than the skulls. So do like this size, like that. And make sure you have greased your pan really good beforehand too. And then you're just gonna stuff them down in there. You need to just kind of mold him around the skeleton so that he picks up that shape. Then you're gonna take your mixture, And then you're gonna put it inside the skeleton, like that, fill them up. And then you're gonna cut another circle. There's also a smaller version of this pan if you want to feed more people. But I'm just feeding me. And then you get it, and then you mold it around the top, like so. And then rinse and repeat. So as I'm making a couple more of these, let's talk about the final movie of this episode. This one, I don't even know how it popped up in my search, but I am glad it did. It is called Thanksgiving. Already off to a great start with that title. Came out in 2008. Movie is just at an hour long, maybe a little bit longer. I looked into it. $3,500 budget. I do not know who got paid for doing this movie, but I mean, it was probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen, but in that way, it was actually one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's about this killer turkey, and his name is Turkey, but spelt with an I, so because we're being creative. And he is possessed by a Native American, and his goal is to do nothing but find and kill all white people. And that is the basis of the movie. It follows like 5 college kids. You have your obvious jock. You have your hot, dumb girl who talks about sex way more than she should. You see the redneck class clown. Then, of course, she's the final girl, the sweet, innocent girl, but she's not winning any beauty pageants anytime soon. And the turkey is basically hunting them down to murder them. Potentially one of the goriest movies. I think the $3,500 that they used on this film all just went into like blood cannons. Thanksgiving. I believe it is it's on Amazon Prime and on Tubi. It is free. I would say start out that one before you eat your first bite of Thanksgiving dinner. It definitely isn't going to make you sick to your stomach. All right, so I made 2 of these. You can make as many as you want. You're gonna pop these bad boys in the oven at 375 for about 20 to 25 minutes. Make sure you're checking them. Also, before you put them in the oven, make sure that you cut 2 slits in them. Just, you kind of gotta let them. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I'm not a baker. I don't know why I'm slitting these. It's just the recipe said to. Okay, skull. Oh God, there's like nowhere in the oven to put these. Ow, it's really hot. I think I just singed off my eyelashes. Well, while we're waiting for those to bake, why don't we have a little wine? Because I'm sure, as someone really famous and important once said, nothing goes better with apple pie than red wine. Cheers. You hear that? Pie's done. All right, here they are, all 2 of my skull apple pies. And as I previously mentioned, I've never attempted this before. So if they don't look like skulls and just look like a mush face, don't judge me. But let's see the moment of truth. How does he look? Does he look like a skull? He did before I ruined him, but look at it. A skull apple pie. Ooh. Now I'm really curious to see if this one turned out. I mean, these skulls have seen better days, but I think I nailed it. Well, there you have it. Thanksgiving Gourmet Gore on Killing Time with Kayla. If you do attempt any of these recipes, please send me a video or a picture of you making it and your family's reactions, and I'm going to play that on Real Reactions with Kayla on next week's episode of Killing Time with Kayla. Also, let me know what you think about the 3 Thanksgiving horror movies that I told you about. If there's any that you love, please share those with me. But until then, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.